Security, they say, is everybody's business, and as we prepare for the YULETIDE season, it is very important for all of us to cooperate with security gallant officers. Security, they say, is everybody's business. And as we prepare for the YULETIDE season, it is important for all of us to, of course, cooperate with security operatives in order to have our each free Christmas and New Year celebrations. On this note, today's program is dedicated to security. There are sundry areas of security apparatus in the country. Today is a special program because it is a PR conversation with the CEO. My guest today is a gallant officer, is a security operative, an administrator par excellence. It's going to be centered on NSCDC, security issues, and the YULETIDE. My guest is the Commandant of the Nigeria Security and Civil Defense Corps, NSCDC, Ogun State Command, Commandant Ahmed ABODUNRIN. You are welcome to your image.
Thank you very much for having me.
Foremost, let me take a very brief profile of my guest on the conversation with the CEO today on your image. Prince Ahmed ABODUNRIN is the Commandant of the Nigeria Security and Civil Defense Corps, Ogun State Command. He is from Iresi, Boluwaduro local government area of Osun State. My guest is a graduate of Geography and Planning from the University of Master of Humanitarian and Refugee Studies at the University of Ibadan. Another master's degree in Peace and Conflict Studies at the University of Ibadan. He also has a certificate in Conflict Management and Peace Processes from the Chulalongkorn University, Bangkok, Thailand. Another diploma certificate in Journalism from the International Institute of Journalism, Nigeria. He has held sensitive and strategic positions in the Corps and at different times in different states command, including the headquarters of the NSCDC. He has also attended different trainings both at home and abroad, which include, and not limited to, the Armed Forces Command and Staff College, Jaji, Prison Staff College, Banama, Kaduna State, Nigerian Army Construction Regiment, Ede, Osun State, Kofi Annan International Peacekeeping Center, Accra, Ghana. He was also member of the RPF 26 Mindanao Peace Processes Briefings, Cotabato, Mindanao, Philippines, and Labor Relations Training in Havana City, Cuba. My guest is a consummate and dedicated journalist, is a prolific writer, is an orator, and a child women's rights activist, a multiple award winner, author, researcher, and of course, a scholar of peace, among others. It is my pleasure to introduce him to you. You are welcome once again to your image.
Thank you very much.
First and foremost, Commandant, people want to know the major core mandate of NSCDC. Oftentimes, there have been, insinuations that you usurp security agencies. But we want to know what are the major core duties, the values of your organization.
Well, thank you very much. Nigeria Security and Civil Defense Corps was established as far back as 1967. But then it was a voluntary organization. But by 2003, the federal government regularized it to become a conventional security outfit. Now, when we talk about the issue of usurpation, I always tell people, when you are building a house, you have so many people working on that house. The painter should not be angry with the bricklayer to say that he's doing his job. The carpenter should be angry with the plumber, But the idea is to build a house, and that's why we call it security architecture. You have what security is, what makes it to be a complete one. So you are going straight to the aspect of civil defense when it becomes part of security. The number one mandate of civil defense all over the world is this disaster management. Of course, it's the only in Nigeria for now with a special department that is named Disaster Management Department. And this is to rescue people during disaster period, during emergency period. You rescue people, you also resettle them, you also rehabilitate them. And of course, part of the management is to ensure that it does not happen in the first instance. But the one that you cannot prevent, when it happens, the aid of the victims. A voluntary organization, particularly in 1967, what the organization was doing then was to assist the soldiers that were fighting war, to rescue people from the war front, because meant to be doing that. So civil defense was established to rescuing people and attending to them medically and all that, and to be warning the populace. They call them pana them, because what they were doing there was to tell the people that they should switch off their lamps in the night, so that the flying helicopter will not know that human beings were residing in particular area. So they tell people, put off your light, put off your light. That is why they call them pana them. So no, talking about the mandate now, apart from disaster management, the second one that I would love to talk about is giving security education to the public. The only organization for now that has in its mandate that we should warn the populace of disaster, we should demarcate disaster area, then we warn the populace, giving education. This is what you can do that can jeopardize your security. This is what you should be doing, this is what you should not be doing. And that is another area where civil defense is different from other agencies. Again, by our Act of 2003 and as amended in 2007, we were given the mandate of regulating the private guard companies all over the country. How do you do that? You monitor them, you license them. If they are good for license, you give them license. Then you also monitor them, you inspect them. Now, it is because government has discovered that even when people hire private guards services in Nigeria to monitor, regulate them, license them, and train them, and inspect them often and often. Now, another unique mandate of civil defense is this Agro Ranger now. Agro Ranger is created specifically, you know, civil defense is a responsive organization, and you cannot give what you don't have. So, any problem, the only way to deal with that problem is to study it, do some research, and come up with what is the solution. We have been having farmer harder classes every now and then. So this Agro Ranger unit is specially created to look into that.
And you have trained men in this area? Sure.
Of course, they were trained repeatedly even by the Nigerian Army in the aspect of how they can also stay in the bush with those farmers, with those others. They didn't only prevent problems from happening. Where it has happened, just like in disaster, they will come in and kind of settling the two of them instead of fighting. At times,
the Jojo.
Yes, the Jojo. At times, some farmers will even tell you that we don't even want money back. You can use that money to also give us fertilizer. It has happened repeatedly. And where animals are also attacked, when we are able to, maybe the animal is poisoned or something like that, we have a way of saying that, look, instead of fighting, you can just come together. Again, another unique mandate of civil defense is this Peace and Conflict Management Department. Since today, all over Nigeria, you see about 60 to 70 people that are awaiting trial, and most of the time, offer cases that are not really that serious that we can just sit down and settle. In African setting, that we have our way of resolving issues before the colonialists came and imposed their own way of life on us, and that is why you are having so many cases, so many frivolous cases in court. Now we have Peace and Conflict Management. In the last 5 years or so, they have settled several thousands of cases that would have otherwise been taken to court, and they will keep on adjourning it. And I always said it personally, this is my personal opinion, that look, you don't get justice in courts, you get judgment. And that is why the Yoruba Sorry.
So having come back from the court,
You cannot be friends.
again.
But then if you come from peace, conflict resolution of civil defense, you are definitely going to become friends. Because we allow you to settle your matter.
Amicably.
But we only supervise it. We don't impose anything. But whatever you agree to must be implemented. And we also tell those people, the disputants, that look, we are not imposing anything. You are going to do it yourself, and whatever you agree to must be followed into too. Of course, we have anti-vandal drive,
too.
as part of our core mandate, and this is to protect critical national infrastructures, like essentially this pipeline and gas line. You would discover that when you get to these pipelines, you see our men there protecting the pipeline, and we're also working agencies in this situation, so that even when they make arrest, or probably the fleeing funders that we are pursuing, when they still make arrest, they still refer to us, so that we can go and prosecute them. These are unique mandates that we have. That, of course, let me quickly add this, that security is like medicine. In the field of medicine, every doctor expectedly should be able to treat minor ailments, like headache, like stomach ache or something like that. But when it comes to the nitty-gritty of it, you start looking for specialists. For instance, if you want to do surgery, if it is mental health, you need a psychiatrist. If it has something to do with children, you need a pediatrics and all that. So that is what you see in security. Right. We are all providing security for lives and property. But when it comes to the nitty-gritty, then you have your own unique areas, and those are the mandates that I've mentioned.
All right, this is Your Image, and it is Conversation with the CEO. And my guest today is the State Commandant in Ogun State of the Nigeria Security and Civil Defense Corps, Commandant Ahmed ABODUNRIN, and he has been able to highlight some of the core mandates of the Corps. You can be part of this via the number that will be displayed on your television screen. You can also be watching us live on GoTV, DSTV, and of course, StarTime live and direct. Commandant, sir, there seems to be a lack of your mandate. You mentioned rehabilitation and resettlement. This has not been
not even in uniform. ensure that we save you, even against your own wish. It is just our mandate. Definitely, we are ready, and as usual, we have deployed our men. You must have been for the past 1 week now, patrols and all that, and particularly along these Lagos Ibadan axis. Okay. I don't know why they always about that road. It is Ogun State has the longest part of that road, yes. And there's so many things that are happening on that road that are actually happening within Ogun State. So our men are there with other services to ensure that people are safe while driving and all that, and they are also safe from the hoodlums. And don't also forget that people also seize this opportunity to on innocent citizens. That is, some hoodlums do that during this festive period. And it is because of the behavior of our people too. You know, so many things that they have not done since the beginning of the year, they want to do it now as if they are to it. Like somebody said.
It seems we have a call. Let me just see if I can make this call.
Okay.
Hello? Hello? Hello, good evening. Can you please speak a little bit louder? Oh, okay. Okay, you can continue, sir.
Yeah.
So the attitude of our people.
Yeah, our people, yes. You know, wanting to do everything at the same time during this period. Including the unethical behavior of, I want to complete my house and do Christmas there. I want to complete my house and do New Year.
Inviting people to come and celebrate with me.
Yeah, that is another one. Another thing is that when you rush into your house, we have been reading stories of and you'll be thinking that it is one spirit or the other. No. You know, when people will plaster their house today and they will move in tomorrow. Cement emission is as poisonous as it's also a poisonous gas. So when you
and some people even put generating set inside the house.
Inside the house, they want to do this, that. And if you also look at us, our attitude generally, when people are doing their will you see on the plan where they put generator house?
Okay, because of our time, I think we're still likely to continue with the discussion next week.
Okay.
But I want you to, in brief, I want you to advise our people, especially during this festive period, advise them generally, and more importantly, your men too. How prepared are they for this 3-in-1 question?
I just want two people, because if you ask me what is the most challenging thing in security operation, I will tell you that it is our people's unconsciousness. People should be vigilant. If they play their own role, it will be very, very easy for operatives to also secure them. In fact, in case it happens, you will quickly get to the root of the matter. That is if people show care, if they care about their vigilant enough. And to our men, of course, it is usual thing. They have been doing it. They can only improve on what they have been doing. That's what I will have for them. Because when you help a society to grow, you are also growing with it.
All right. Yeah. When you help our society to grow, you are also growing with it. And that will be our takeaway today on the conversation with the CEO on your image district. Oh, how I wish we continue, but time is on our side. But definitely, I promise I'm going to come back next week and I will bring the commandant of the NSCDC in Ogun State back to the show. I want to say a very big thank you to you, Commandant Ahmed ABODUNRIN, for honoring our invitation. Definitely, do you promise you'll be back next week?
By God's grace, if there are no other security issues that...
Your words are noted.
Yes.
All right, this is where we draw the curtains of this week's edition of PR Conversation with the CEO. And my guest has been the Ogun State Commandant of the NSCDC, Commandant Ahmed ABODUNRIN. Until we meet next week, I want to wish us, of course, Merry Christmas and prosperous New Year in advance. From us, compliment of the city.